Welcome everyone. Welcome to today's video. This is episode 2 of season 1 of my entrepreneurial journey. So today's episode is going to be about self-awareness. I had to realize that I was the reason that I was not successful. I had to take a step back and take a look at me. I had to do some self-reflecting, and a lot of the times we tend to blame others. We blame this situation. We blame life, and we have to understand that life is not fair, and we have to fix our problems because the world doesn't care, and we just got to do it. So I took this time to kind of self-reflect and see what I needed to do to be a better me. Not only just be a better me for me, but be a better me for my daughter because she's going to need me. And there were 3 things that I started with that I realized that I needed to do better on. The first thing that I realized that I needed to do better with is my health. And I wasn't exercising, I was eating crappy foods. And as I started to do research and watching videos, doing learning, things like that, I realized that it's my fault and we are what we eat. We hear that all the time, but we really don't pay attention to it, or we just like whatever, it goes in one ear and throughout the other. And I realized that if I wanted to be successful, I had to start mimicking the successful. So I started to watch videos on what successful people do. What is their daily routine? And I found out that most of them eat very healthy. They exercise at least 5 times out of the week. So I was like, this is something that I needed to start implementing in my life, and taking a look at what I was eating versus what I should be eating, just feeding my brain, feeding my body, feeding my soul. I realized that I needed to make some changes. I needed to exercise more, and I needed to eat more fruits and vegetables and more foods that are for better health and for the brain. So that was the first thing that I have really changed and implemented in my life, is making sure that I'm getting up and exercising every morning before work. I was trying to do it at night, but it wasn't working. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get up and just get it over with. And I've been doing better. I wake up anywhere between 5 and 6 a.m. now. It fluctuates during the day. Like this morning, I was able to wake up at 5 a.m. and I did my exercises, I did some work, and I feel great. I know I probably sound tired, but I'm just relaxed. I'm just learning to keep it chill. So that's what I've been working on as far as my health. And I encourage you to as well, to make sure that you are being healthy, because when we eat bad foods, I'm finding that we feel sluggish, we feel unproductive. And if you do your own research, you'll find that a lot of the foods that you eat have to do with your psychological, and they play a part in your psychological and mental health as well. So that is the first change that I have made. The second change that I've made is regarding my learning. So I know I talked about in last video that I really got into business, and I really learned a lot of this stuff. And my transformation was in starting my boutique. And I decided to actually discontinue my online boutique. It was a plus size boutique because it was something I really wasn't passionate about. I just jumped into it and was like, I'm going to do it because I thought that's what I wanted to do. And then I realized that it wasn't something that I wanted to do. And instead of prolonging it and delaying what I need to be doing, I just went ahead and got rid of it. And everybody was like, no, you need to keep your boutique, keep going, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's not what I wanted to do. And sometimes we hold on to things based on others' judgment, and we shouldn't. And I encourage you to not do that as well. Don't be fearful of what other people have to say. Don't be fearful of what their judgments are based on the decisions that you make in your life. And I had to realize that it's nothing wrong with trying something out and figuring out that it's not what I wanted to do. I'm not a seller. I don't know how to sell. I'm not really a girly girl. I just like to be me. And I realized that I was trying to fit everyone's perception of what I should be instead of just being what I'm comfortable being. And I'm just like a laid back, I like to get girly girl and dressed up most of the time, but this is me just a t-shirt and some jogging pants. I love to be comfortable. Kind of a tomboy. I was a tomboy growing up, very much so. So it's just something that I like to be comfortable in my own skin. And like, I love social media. People think social media and the internet is bad, but I love it because I love like watching TikTok. I used to judge myself about watching TikTok because I'm like, oh, I could be doing something productive and blah blah blah. But it's nothing wrong with taking time out to just be happy and do something that you like to do. Sometimes I binge watch Disney movies on Disney Plus. And I didn't feel bad about this. I used to, but now I don't, because as I watch TikTok videos, I've learned that it's people who will accept you for who you are, and it's people who are grown and they love animated movies. And that takes my mind when I want to do something. I don't go out and spend money. I don't go out and splurge or go shopping. I literally sit there with my daughter and we watch Disney movies for however long we feel like we're going to chill out. And that makes me happy. Or when I have some time to myself, I like to watch TikTok videos because I love, how people are just themselves, and I love the confidence, and I love to see people happy. And the news and the media has us thinking that we're all against each other. And if we just took the time out to get to know each other, we'll realize that we're more common than everything else tries to make us think that we are. But I realized that with learning, that I love to learn. And I have kind of forgot that life sometimes takes us away from the things that we love to do. And I've been to school, I've always said I would be a lifelong school goer, because I want my PhD. I have my master's degree now. And, I kept going, and people was like, how do you keep going? And I was like, I love learning. And I realized that I can learn beyond school. But somehow society and the system has us thinking that we need school to learn. And when I was a kid, I used to have my dad drive me to the library. I used to go get like 5 or 6 books to read for the week. And as a kid, you don't got nothing else to do. So like, this was like elementary school, going into middle school kid. And I forgot that I love to read. Like, seriously, I forgot that it's something I enjoy doing. And I had to realize that about myself as I was going through this self-awareness journey and taking a look at me, like, how are you going to learn how to be a salesperson, how to sell? And that's why I said that it's always good to try new things, because I would have never got to this point if I wouldn't have started that online boutique and realized that I'm not a girly girl, that I don't know how to sell things really that well. I'm a business major. I went to school for business, but I did IT. I didn't do advertising and promotion. I didn't do management. I didn't do any of that. I did computer information systems because I love technology. And I had to realize that about myself, that I'm not as good as I thought I was. And it kind of humbled me a little bit. I was like, man, you need to simmer down, pipe down, because you're not all that you think you are. So sometimes taking a step back and looking at ourselves and really reflecting and evaluating who we are will help us to grow and take the next step. So recently I have been ordering books, and I've been listening to podcasts and listening to YouTube videos where experts are coming on talking about their books. And I ordered some books about healthy foods that you should be eating. I've ordered books about sales, The Greatest Salesman in the World. I love that book. It made me cry at the end, you guys. It was so good. I never thought that a sales book would be about like God in biblical times, kind of, sort of, and it made me cry. I know, like, whatever. But yes, like, I've gotten back to reading, and I enjoy reading. I enjoy learning. And even as I'm learning what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur, I've learned that you have to be a lifelong learner, and you have to read and want to feed yourself, your mind, your body, your soul with knowledge, and that's what takes you to the next step. And just from these couple of weeks that I've made these changes, like I've read 3 books already, and I just feel so empowered, and I feel like that I can keep going on and that I'm moving in the right direction. So I definitely encourage you guys to read or figure out how you like to learn, because if you really want to be a successful entrepreneur, it's a lifelong learning process. You have to stay ahead of your competition. You have to stay ahead of the next person, and you have to figure out how you're going to learn how to do that and be successful in your market. So the third thing that I realized that I needed to work on in my self-reflection, self-awareness journey is patience. And I'm sure we all have this thing, we're equipped to getting things now, and it should be now, and my success should be instant. And if it's not, I'm a failure and things like that. But you're not. And I had to learn that patience is a virtue, and that I have to wait and work and do what I need to do to get there, and it's not going to be overnight. And one of the people that made me realize this was Gary Vee, because he talks about his story all the time about how he worked in his parents' business for 10 years and left with nothing, and all the money went back into the business. It didn't go into his pockets. And I was like, man, he worked from 22 to about 32, maybe. But he left at 34. Maybe it's 34. He left at 34 with nothing and wanted to start his own business. And I was like, whew, 10 years of working for someone else. And I realized that I've already been doing that, and it's got me to this far. So I can go a little bit longer because I'm not even 30 yet. So I have time. And he made me realize, our generation, we want things instantly, and we just don't want to put in the work for it. And I had to realize, man, I am definitely full of myself, and I have to learn to be patient. And I've just been implementing things in my life that help me remind myself that I have to be patient, that I have to put in the work, that there are steps that I need to take as far as my finances and learning to get me to the success that I want to be at. So, I'm just learning to be a more patient person. I'm learning to understand that there's steps that I still have to take. And he made me realize that you're in the first quarter of your entrepreneurial journey or your success journey if you really truly want to be successful. And he was like, if you don't plan on dying tomorrow, basically in so many words, then why are you rushing it? And he said you should enjoy the process, enjoy the journey of getting to the success versus the success itself. And I had to realize, okay, yeah, I definitely need to do that. I need to enjoy every day. And I also realized that because I have a toddler, that I don't want to give all my hours right now in the day to anything, like everything except her. I still have to work, but I want to be able to spend time with her. So I take it day by day and step by step, and take it little by little, because the time that you have to put into being a successful entrepreneur, when I listen to them, they say anywhere from 12 to 18 hours a day. And I'm like, that's my whole day. I'm still developing a human here. I need to make sure that she's okay. And I realize that I'm not 30 yet, and she's a toddler. If I did really 10 years of just coaching her and getting her in the right mindset and developing her mind and her as a person, I'm not even going to be 40. And she'll probably be a teenager at that point and be at the point where she don't even want to deal with me no more. And then I can take those steps to put in those 12, 18-hour days as far as funding my business, and realizing that by that time I would have learned so much that I can implement, and I'll probably be halfway there. So I just had to realize that I had to be patient in what I wanted, patient in my success, and patient with myself, patient with learning. So those are the 3 biggest things that I'm working on right now. I'm working on being a healthier person. dropping some of my weight. I'm working on learning and just making sure that I take every day to take time out to learn. If I don't get to read, I make sure I listen to a YouTube video. I listen to Louis House, his clips. I listen to Gary Vee clips. I listen to motivational clips. So not all my learning comes from reading. I do watch videos as well. And I love that. I think that the versatility helps me very much. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I'm happy with that. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I hope some of this stuff helps you in your entrepreneurial journey or even in your personal growth journey, and provides you with some tips and tools that you can use to better yourself as a person and as an entrepreneur as well. And as always, be blessed, and I will see you in the next video.